Let's talk about the game in Germany. It was Giants Panthers. It was an exciting one. Was it an explosive football game? Was it the best display of the sport that we have? No, but at least we gave the local German people and the Europeans over there an exciting close game here as the Panthers come away victorious 20-17. 2-game win streak for the Carolina Panthers, I must say. Let's look at the Carolina Panthers' top 5 graded players here in this game. Number 1, their free agent addition, Robert Hunt, who is continuing to show a strong ROI for them, bringing him in with an 84.9 overall grade in this one. Linebacker Josie Jewell, an 84.1. That incredible interception definitely goes into that grade there. Offensive tackle Taylor Moton with a 78.8. Guard Damian Lewis, another free agent addition for them, a 77.3. And then edge rusher DJ Wanham, they've definitely needed to increase their production on the edge here. He rounds out the top 5 with a 74.7 grade. Quarterback Bryce Young in this one, a 71.4. On the Giants side of things, rookie cornerback Andrew Phillips continues to be a bright star for them with an 88.2 overall grade. Edge rusher Brian Burns, an 85.1. Evan Neal, yes, Evan Neal, with an 80.6 overall grade in this game. Cornerback Cordell Flott with a 77.8, and then offensive guard Greg Van Roten with a 76.7. Daniel Jones in this one, a 65.7 overall grade. Dalton, where do you want to start here?
This was more about a team. You mentioned it wasn't the prettiest game in the world, but the team that made less mistakes won the ball game, right? The Giants had 3 turnovers plus a missed field goal in the first half. The Panthers, I believe, didn't have any turnovers in this game, and that's really just what it comes down to. The Giants made mistakes, couldn't finish drives. Daniel Jones wasn't great, certainly didn't play as well as he did last week, but both interceptions deep in Panthers territory. The Josie Jewell one in the second half that was just incredible inside the Panthers' 10-yard line.
Weight room, baby. Weight room.
And then, of course, you feel for a rookie mistake here, but Tyrone Tracy with the fumble in overtime that sealed the game for the Panthers.
Brutal, man.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for him.
Yeah, I mean and he's had such a good year so far. I mean, he was one of your stock exchange guys, wasn't he? There with that, but
he was. We loved him.
I mean, this was just a game where I thought the Panthers they won because they played the cleaner game, right? And I think they were better up front in this game on both sides, especially in the run game on offense. And then the Giants just making that many mistakes. Sometimes you get bad teams, they find ways to lose. It's not necessarily that they play bad all the way through, but in the biggest moments, they made the biggest mistakes, and that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, I look at the stat that told the story for me, and it was a close game, right? I said that it wasn't the most explosive or best display of the game of football between these two teams, but it was close, and there were opportunities for the Giants to win this game, even down at the end, right before the Tyrone Tracy fumble. Daniel Jones as a passer left a lot to be desired in this game, as it feels like he has throughout his entire NFL career. He's always been somebody it's very alluring what he can bring on the ground. I mean, there are times when he looked like a battering ram out there, and he's never afraid to put his body on the line, and you can understand why coaches like him, and he's got that mobility to him. But 22 for 37 passing, 109 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in this game. But then when you kind of filter things for, okay, passes 15 or more yards down the field, below 50.0 PFF passing grade, third down as well. I feel like third down, just winning third downs with his arm. He just does not do it with regularity. And again, a PFF passing grade in the 50s for Daniel Jones when you really need it, right, on those third down situations. And I think that's sort of where we are at with Daniel Jones. And to me, I don't mean to beat a dead horse here or just keep bringing this up, but this is the issue with the Giants, is right now they don't have a quarterback that when they need him to, it's not even like, when you get in trouble. Every quarterback in the NFL needs to win a third down with their arm at some point every single week. And Daniel Jones has been capable of it, but it is not consistent enough. And so to me, the stat that told the story is just, once again, Jones not being a consistent threat enough with his arm as a passer in this one, and it just held the Giants back a little bit too much to where, of course, a late game fumble ends up losing it for them against the Panthers. But who's your most impressive in this game?
I'll take Robert Hunt inside for the Panthers. Look, the Panthers were dominant on the ground in this game, and he was the biggest reason for it. 88.7 run blocking grade, also gave up no pressures and 28 pass blocking snaps. And look, right now, the Panthers, their offensive line has been good just about all season, whether it was Bryce Young or Andy Dalton or whoever playing quarterback. They've only had a couple of bad games, and this was either the worst or second worst interior unit in football last year. And what you mentioned, Damian Lewis, too, what these two guys have done inside for them. they've gone from the worst interior unit in football to they both rank in the top 17 among guards right now. This is a good unit. They can pass protect. They're getting it together in the run game. They certainly earned Chuba Hubbard that extension. Not that Hubbard's not playing well and you're getting into that.
Holy
but
cow.
Man, oh man, with this blocking in front of him, especially on the inside between the tackles, I think it's been a big help. You have to fix your offensive line no matter who your quarterback is. And I think the Panthers went out and did that this year.
Look, Chuba Hubbard signs the contract extension. I think everybody looks at this as very interesting, right? You traded up for a running back in last year's draft in Jonathan Brooks, who I like a lot, who I thought was going to be the future RB1 of this team. Hubbard has played great this season, but now you invest draft capital in a running back that was already hurt coming off an ACL tear at Texas, and you use extra draft capital to go up and get him in the second round. So already that's a little bit of a rich of value. And then you give Chuba Hubbard the contract. It's like, guys, we've got to be able to utilize our resources a little bit better than this. But you're going to pay the man. You want to see production. This guy's been so productive for the Carolina Panthers. And let me tell you, they are not winning the last two games without Chuba Hubbard. They're just not. 28 carries in this past game, 153 rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. He also had 4 catches on 6 targets for 16 yards. He is such a major piece of their offense. And I think everybody collectively sort of held their breath when he went down. His knee kind of bent awkwardly. And it's just like, please, come on. We don't need this. I mean, not only did he just sign the new contract, but he is such a cool part of this team. He's a reason why Carolina is able to play well and why they're at least entertaining to watch now every single week, even though they're not the best team in the NFL by any means. He makes that offense go. And he was once again the most impressive for me in this one because without him, I don't really know where they're at. I like what Jalen Coker is as a wide receiver. I like how Bryce Young has improved. I like how they're using Jatavian Sanders. Like, all that stuff is great. Those things don't even really happen, in my opinion, unless you have Chuba Hubbard playing the way that he has throughout the first 10 weeks of the season, I will say, not even just this game. So he had an incredible game, and I wanted to make sure I gave him his flowers there. Who was most disappointing for you in this one?
For me, it's right on the other side of that. The Giants just not as physical as they usually are, especially in run defense. Brian Burns was their only player with at least a 70 run defense grade and a team run D grade of 41.3. The only game they were worse was week 1 against Minnesota. So the Giants just in general, especially on defense, not as physical as they've been in past weeks. Usually their big Dexter Lawrence and their big defensive line is the reason that they stay in these games on defense. In this game, they just didn't show up. I think the Panthers offensive line dominating the Giants up front on defense, that was the biggest story outside of all the turnovers.
Gordon McGinnis in the chat saying, Panthers are unbeaten in Germany since PFF great Eric Eager joined the team. Really makes you think. It really does make you think.
See that?
You know? Really does make you think.
Some of us know what we're doing around
Mine
here.
most disappointing in this one is Deonte Banks because it's just been a season that has been very disappointing for Deonte Banks. And it kind of piggybacks off of what you were saying a little bit with the Giants' run defense. I mean, Deonte Banks in this one, 43.7 run defense grade. I mean, it just has not been a good year for Banks, no matter how you slice it. I think that in man coverage, he's been beaten quite a bit, and that was sort of his bread and butter. That was why you drafted him, and he's really struggling in that area, and he's struggling in run defense. And there's also been some effort concerns with him throughout the first 10 weeks of the season. So all of a sudden, we went into this year thinking, all right, even with Andrew Phillips and Deonte Banks, like, okay, maybe they would still need an extra corner the next year. Now corner is starting to creep higher and higher on their team needs when we start to talk about the 2025 NFL draft. Could maybe even be a first-round need for them. I know quarterback is as well. So I'm not saying that you're going to take a corner over a quarterback, but just saying, if quarterbacks are off the board, the draft doesn't fall the way you want to, corner is now becoming a major need for them in 2025. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below. So if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can become one today.